that was in my file. I guess their marriage went sour after they got me and had all those kids.
Your mother's name is Rosemary Eubanks?
Well, it's Hanson, but after Wilson moved in, she started using his name, except on the welfare checks.
Joliet, Illinois?
That's where I was born. But we moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana after that.
Your father's name is Henry?
It was. He died when I was 13. He was all right. He just liked to drink. Are you all right? Judge Slaymaker, why are you staring at me like that?
Charles!
Where were you last night?
Well, good morning to you, too.
I kept trying to call you until after 1 o'clock this morning.
Well, evidently you didn't start early enough. Miriam and I left at 7 o'clock. So there's no need to be jealous.
I'm not jealous, Nancy.
Well, I would have invited you along to our celebration, but I thought that maybe we could have our own celebration a little later.
If you were celebrating the good riddance of Norman Elliott, you celebrated a bit too quickly.
What's wrong? Has he escaped?
No, unfortunately.
So what's happened?
Your brilliant plan to have Norman put in prison backfired on Slaymaker, Webster, and you.
But it's foolproof. They didn't even know Laurie Davidson or Russ what's-his-name, let alone the fact that Norm ran them off the road.
Well, they do now.
So?
Norman talks too much. He also knows too much about the lot of us. Right now, he's trying to blackmail Slaymaker into letting him out of jail.
But Slaymaker can't do that. Can he?
I don't know, but George obviously has to do something.
I don't know what you're getting so upset about. Brubaker stood right in that hallway a couple of days ago and heard Norman confess.
Nancy, right now, Brubaker may be sitting at his chair and his office listening to Norman tell him about how he tampered with a certain safety deposit box as requested by his boss, Commissioner Slaymaker, and also as requested by Harold Webster.
Norris?
Yes. There's no telling what he could say about me. And he knows that I'm at least partially responsible for his being arrested.
If you weren't so concerned about yourself, maybe you would see that this could be the highlight of our year, getting Slaymaker, Webster, and Norman in one stroke.
Nancy, you don't seem to understand. Who hired Webster and why were the wills switched?
But they couldn't convict me. They wouldn't.
Elliot has a witness, and no reason at all not to keep from turning us all in.
But I didn't know Elliot was the one to switch the wills. In fact, I didn't even know what Harold was doing until it was all over with.
You try convincing a jury of that. It's called conspiracy.
But all the charges against me were dropped by Judge Slaymaker.
But she's not a federal judge, Nancy.
Charles, what are we going to do?
Well, Elliot wanted you to take the tape to Brubaker and tell him it was all just a horrible joke.
But Brubaker heard him confess.
I know, and that's why George Slaymaker is trying to approach this thing from another angle.
How?
Well, through Elliot's witness at Slaymaker's bank. Brooke somebody. She's the woman that let him into the vault and then gave him the safety deposit key.
So if he doesn't have a witness, there's nothing he can do.
That's true, but if he does have a witness, you are in very serious trouble.
Charles, are you going to desert me again?
No, because I'm too deeply involved in your insidious little plan, and I do care for you, but you could have thought this out a little more carefully.
Me? You're the one that told me to bring that tape to Brubaker's. We could have blackmailed the guy out of town by now.
Yes, now he's blackmailing me. A little jerk. He's caused me nothing but grief.
I agreed to speak with you upon the prodding of Mrs. Davidson because she feels you're worth special attention.
I'm not asking for special favors.
Good, because I don't give them. But special attention is another matter. Now, we all like a little special attention every once in a while, don't we?
I guess.
Do you think you're worth it?
I guess not. But you're going to give me pity, aren't you? Right?
Wrong. I think you're worth it.
Oh, this is going to be another one of those pep talks on the kind of potential I have.
This is going to be straight talk. Unless you change your ways and attitudes, young lady, you're going to find yourself in prison.
Just for ripping off a few piddly cosmetics.
Not this time, but you're on your way if you don't straighten up. I believe this is your first offense since you turned 18.
It is?
Shoplifting 2 times in 3 years, possession of marijuana 1 time.
I was just holding a guy's cigarette at a concert.
A prison record follows you for the rest of your life, especially when you're seeking employment.
I'm not planning on going to prison.
That's all good and well, but it's your actions that count.
How did you get this job? I mean, you know, being a woman and all.
A good education, hard work, and sacrifices.
Do you like it?
Yes, it's challenging. I have to try to be fair to the accused and fair to society. For example, in your case, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're sorry for what you did.
I said I'm sorry.
But I need to hear more from you than that to make an accurate judgment. Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Well, let's start with why you ran away from home at age, what, 16?
Because my mother and I didn't get along. And I got tired of taking care of all my brothers and sisters while she came and went as she pleased.
Do you miss them?
Sometimes. But I'm not going back. I didn't belong there. Besides, she's not my real mother.
You're adopted.
I thought that was in my file. I guess their marriage went sour after they got me and had all those kids.
Your mother's name is Rosemary Eubanks?
Well, it's Hanson, but after Wilson moved in, she started using his name, except on the welfare checks.
Joliet, Illinois?
That's where I was born. But we moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana after that.
Your father's name is Henry.
It was. He died when I was 13. He was all right. He just liked to drink. Are you all right? Judge Slaymaker? Can I, go now?
No, I mean, not yet.
Look, everything you need to know about me is in the file.
Yes, I'll get back with you shortly after looking through this, and the guard will show you back.
Just a minute. Come in.
Well, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time.
I was busy, Mitch.
Well, I just wanted to drop off the brief that I promised to do this morning. Here you are. Why, Beth, you're crying. Is something wrong?
I can't talk about it, Mitch.
Oh, well, is there anything I can do?
No, I don't even know what to do.
Oh, well, now, Beth, you and I go back a long way together. Now, I don't mean to push you, but I am here, and if there is anything I can do.
Mitch, I can't believe it. It's her.
Who?
My daughter.
Oh, well, now, Beth, get hold of yourself. You don't have a daughter.
I never told anybody.
Oh, well, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. It's all in here.
Jill Hanson. Oh, that's the girl that's staying over at the Commons, the one they picked up for shoplifting.
Yes. Jill was adopted by Rosemary and Henry Hanson, Joliet, Illinois.
I don't know what to say. Does George know?
Jill is George's daughter, too.
I don't understand.
Oh, it's all very complicated, Mitch. You see, I was a freshman, George was a sophomore. I got pregnant. Well, neither a child nor marriage fit in with our career ambitions or our youth.
So instead of having an abortion, you put the baby up for adoption.
I didn't have time for a baby. I had a girlfriend named Rosemary. She and Henry had been married about 6 months. They agreed to adopt the baby under the condition that we would never try to see her.
And you went along with her.
Yes. A lawyer friend of George's handled the legalities, and Rosemary and Henry moved out of the area. At the time, it seemed like the right thing to do, Mitch.
Then you and George got married later, huh?
Yes, after college. And, of course, I went into law practice, and George took a position with his family's banking chain.
You never had any more children.
By the time our careers were established, our marriage was deteriorating.
Does Jill know?
No. She has no idea. But Mitch, look what's happened to Jill.
Beth, I know you need time to think, but George has a right to know.
What do you say I pick you up noon, sharp? Steak and all the trimmings. Of course I'm one of the trimmings. No, I won't. I promise. Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.
Well, I see that ignorance is bliss.
It just so happens I am having a great day for a change, Charles, old buddy. I just won me a big court case, and Gloria said yes. Not even you can ruin my day today.
Don't be so sure about that.
Nah, I talked to Prescott earlier. Everything's fine.
No, everything is not fine.
What now?
Does the name Norm Elliott mean anything to you?
Sure. He's a sleaze that works for Slaymaker.
Do you recall any favors that he ever did for you?
He brought us the arsonist.
You didn't.
There's nothing to worry about, Charles. He handled the switching of Nancy's wills for Slaymaker. I figured he's trustworthy.
Well, you figured wrong.
Hey, Charles, I know you don't like this
Harold, Norman Elliott is threatening to tell the police that he was the one who tampered with the safety deposit box.
kid. You gotta be kidding. Now, why would he do a stupid thing like that? He'd just get in serious trouble.
Because he's already in trouble with the police, and he says he's going to turn George Slaymaker in if Slaymaker doesn't help him get out of jail, and Slaymaker could implicate you.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't do anything.
Oh, come on now. You're the one who told Slaymaker to open the safety deposit box.
I asked him. I didn't know he was gonna do it.
But you knew the switch had been made and you didn't report it.
Oh, of course I didn't. You think I'm crazy?
You based your case on it.
Nancy's case. Yeah, I told Judge Slaymaker in Dunbar that I didn't know anything about it. Nancy set me up.
That's not what Nancy says.
Charles, look, what's this all about anyway? If this Elliott kid's in some kind of trouble, maybe I can help him out or something.
It's a little late for that. The ironic twist is that Nancy and I are the ones who put him in jail. It's an airtight case that backfired.
What?
Well, it was simple. It started out simply as a plan to get rid of Elliott, who, incidentally, was the one who stole the investor's book for Hollister Mall and caused a few other problems as well.
Look, if this gets out, I could be disbarred. I got to do something.
If this gets out, you could be behind bars, along with Slaymaker.
Hey, don't forget about Nancy.
Don't let it get that far.
Oh, that's just great. You and Nancy get me into this mess, and then you expect me to get you out of it.
Well, Slaymaker's working on that. I simply didn't want you to be the last one to hear it. Have a good day, Harold.
Hey, I was beginning to think you were going to stand me up.
I'm sorry, Leon. My manager called as soon as I was leaving.
Oh? I took the liberty of ordering your usual.
Lunch, too?
I'm a little presumptuous, but not that overbearing. What did your manager want?
You are more than a little nosy.
Just concerned about your career and your love life.
Well, why don't you ask Gene? He knows things he doesn't tell me.
Oh, the latest feelings are hurt.
I won't go into details, but Gene wasn't completely honest with me, and I don't like it.
I know all about it.
You do?
I stopped by to see Gene. He was afraid that perfume letter might hurt your chances at reconciliation.
Oh, his not being honest hurt our chances more than that perfume letter.
What did he say that was so bad?
He had the nerve to tell me that he hadn't fallen for any woman since I'd left, but he refused to open her letter while I was there.
I have the inside scoop on that if you're interested, and promise not to get mad.
You know her?
Samantha Marshall is my sister.
I thought that name sounded familiar.
I'm sure Gene told you she was his boss at the office of P&D.
Oh, yeah, I did get that much out of him.
I met Gene through Sam, and when Gene said he hadn't fallen for another woman since you left, he wasn't telling the whole truth, but he wasn't exactly lying all that much either.
There you go again, covering up for him.
I tell it like it is. Gene was lonely, Carla. And since every Marshall born is either fine or a fox, he took to Sam. He couldn't help it.
Is she pretty?
A fox, like I said. But it's not like you think. Gene and Sam dated a little. Sam moved to D.C. and it was over.
You think he'd take to her now if she came back?
I didn't exactly say that. The point is, Carla, you left Gene to play the field. And now that you know that he's played a little too, you want to call him back into the marital dugout. It's not fair.
You make too much sense. A real fox, huh?
Oh, I'll get it. I'll get it. Hello? Hello?
Miriam, that's the door, not the phone. Will you hang that thing up?
Oh, they hung up.
I thought I was through with you trying to ruin my career.
I wouldn't set my goals that low. You're perfectly capable of ruining your own career. You're the one that went to Slaymaker.
Only because of that stupid idea of yours to substitute the fake wills for the real ones.
Well, it wasn't so stupid then. The only one stupid was you.
No, Mother and Daddy, please stop it. Just stop it.
What's with her?
It's Frederico here.
You still doping her up, huh?
Miriam, why don't you just lie down, please, okay? She's not
Yes,
feeling
Mother.
well.
You and Charles have really outdone yourselves this time. A taped confession to attempted murder.
Norm is a real mental case.
How was I supposed to know that?
Well, how was I supposed to know that you and Slaymaker would trust such a creep? Oh, but then, of course, I made the same mistake.
Creep, yes, Norman is a creep, right, Nancy?
Yeah, Miriam. Just be quiet, will you?
Let's just hope that Slaymaker can stop Norman before he talks. But if he doesn't, I got a plan.
Thanks, Harold, but I'm not interested in your plan. Actually, Charles is talking with Commissioner Slaymaker, who's going to take care of the witness.
What witness?
Well, didn't Charles tell you? The girl who works at the bank that knew that Slaymaker let Norm in the vault.
Charles just told me that Slaymaker was taking care of things.
Well, let's just hope he does.
Look, don't let Brubaker intimidate you. Just stand your ground. Don't confess to anything.
Well, that shouldn't be hard to do, seeing as I didn't know Norm switched the wills.
You knew everything but the names.
Harold, if I go down, you're going down with me. So you better just make sure Slaymaker takes care of things.
Webster, what are you doing here?
You don't look so pleased to see me, George. You expecting somebody else?
Somebody very important. So please leave.
Not so fast. What we got to discuss is important, too.
Well, we can discuss it later.
George, if things get rough, keep my name out of this. Otherwise, you'll be spending 18 years in jail instead of 18 months.
Yeah, well, don't threaten me, Webster.
I'm not threatening you, George. I'm just reminding you that I know about a certain number of campaign contributors that weren't listed on your recent campaign. And I know about a certain pregnancy.
Hold it right there, Webster. Elliot hasn't talked yet, and he's not going to talk. Just like you're not going to talk.
It's just a matter of time, George. You can't get him out of jail. The evidence against him's too solid.
I really don't care if Elliot rots in jail. His accusations can't be substantiated.
Just like I was telling you, the guy's a liar. Nobody's going to believe him. They're going to have other witnesses. Now, don't be foolish and become one of them.
Take your two-bit advice and get out of here, Webster, now!
All right, I'm going. You'd be wise to listen to what I said, though.
Out, Webster! Brooke,
George?
Mr. Webster was just leaving. Talk to you later, Harold. Glad you could stop by.
Please, George. If Elliot talks, just keep my name out of it. I can help you.
Good day, Harold. Thank you for coming, Brooke.
You said it was important.
It is. I've missed you terribly.
When did you come to that conclusion?
It's been so long since we've been together. I've tried to get over you, but I can't.
You want a favor, right?
What I want is you. I've missed our nights together, our talks. I want you back.
You know I'm not interested in one-night stands, George. If I were still interested in you.
I know I hurt you. Please, try to forgive and forget. I can make it up to you.
That's impossible after what's happened.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Dumping me after all our months together. Not even so much as a phone call.
I thought our relationship was worth at least a goodbye.
I thought I was caring too much. I thought I had to end it quickly or not at all.
Oh, don't give me that. The one thing I thought we had, George, was respect.
I know, and we do.
Why don't you just be straight with me then? What do you want?
I couldn't just rush into this decision. I had to give it a lot of thought. I had to consider the consequences. I know that I resisted the idea of divorcing Beth. But now, knowing what life is like without you, I'm ready to do it.